daily update today. All things Bitcoin, financial, monetary, historical, political. Let's roll here. We have the first thing on tap, El Salvador debt risk looms as Bitcoin bond has yet to launch. So El Salvador, obviously one of the leaders in the Bitcoin community and the first sovereign to accept it as Bitcoin, make it a Bitcoin legal tender. They have a Bitcoin bond that's coming out. It was announced last year, and it's going to be $1 billion bond with 500 million going to it says right down here, obviously 500 million going to the treasury and 500 million going to fund development for Bitcoin City, powered by the geothermal and Bitcoin mining. So just incredible things here that, obviously this is something you can get into more, learning about the environmental aspects and what it's doing. Bitcoin is doing to clean up the environment and using wasted energy and capturing that. So, which is incredible stuff. But as we know, the IMF and the cronies at the top do not like that. And Bloomberg, of course, does not like that. They suggest that it's garnered no support so far. The bond, they're trying to raise money for the bond, obviously, the offering. And it's coming up here next year, and they're at odds with, what's going on, actually. So, obviously, the war in Ukraine is going on. There's a lot of things going on in El Salvador they're trying to clean up. And they have time. And, Bloomberg is, they're a little bit worried because there's garnered no support, while the country, El Salvador, is saying that, hey, we're way oversubscribed. We can't announce this yet. The price is down, so we want to do it at a different time. So it's just hilarious, the back and forth that's going on. And just, again, having to think both sides. These are diametrically opposed sentences that we need to make sure that we're seeing both sides of the coin. So that's the first point of info for today. Nevertheless, both the president and finance minister maintain the country is at zero risk of default, according to Bloomberg. Their words contradict the opinions of institutions like Moody's. Excuse me. Wow. Moody's and Fitch both have cut El Salvador's credit rating in recent months. Bukele, for his part, isn't listening. The president has been shown to mock the opinions of both Moody's and the IMF, which he should, because they are criminal organizations. And here we go. We're going to show you. What do you know? Just in the last year here, Warren Buffett, top shareholder, who just calls Bitcoin rat poison, who just said in his annual conference just recently, a couple of days ago, last weekend, that Bitcoin's terrible. Charlie Munger, Bitcoin's evil, siding with the Chinese government, saying that it undermines the Federal Reserve. What better thing to have at our disposal than something that ruins the Federal Reserve? Well, isn't that amazing? Yet, here we are. This man owns Moody's. Well, of course. And here they are getting fined because it's a conflict of interest. He is the biggest shareholder of Moody's, and they're raiding Berkshire Hathaway. So the man who benefited from the money printing the most, and the man that, for all intents and purposes, is a great investor, does a lot of great things with his investments. But let's be real, he's benefited a ton from the money printer and being on the inside. And he's out there attacking the only thing that can give the average person a leg up, because they're doing everything they can to pull the ladders up from everybody. So that's just a little note I wanted to show you guys. And I've seen a lot of this fascism stuff recently, and a lot of talk about Trump. I still don't know what Donald Trump did. I don't really care about Trump either way. I'm fascinated at the talk about Donald Trump. I don't know if it was just him speaking on January 6th that day, and the fact that he spoke, and then people were unhappy with the lack of auditing of what was going on, and they said you're a fascist because you allowed something to happen at the Capitol. I don't get it. Is that the only reason? I need help with that. I don't know why he's a fascist, because in here it seems a lot like the current administration or people that are on the left that are doing this, because that's really what it is. I disagree with fascism being on the right end of the spectrum always. Everyone always says that's on the right end of the spectrum. What is right about it? The right end of the spectrum is more probably anarchy than anything. No government, limited government, no government, getting government the hell out of our life. Like right here, why is this saying it's fascism is placed in the far right? That makes zero sense. They use racism and bigotry and demonizing other people. It sounds a lot like the last couple of years, demonizing people, the despicables, the deplorables, just demonizing those people. I do know a party. I do know people that do demonize other people. storming churches just this week that they're planning on doing, demonizing people they don't agree with. That's very interesting, very, very interesting that they call them that. So I tend to think that these fascist, socialist, communist, Marxist, progressives are all on one side of the spectrum. There isn't really the other side. The right, the far right is anarchy. That's what that is. So just wanted to clear that up quick. Fed raising rates, everyone knows this is going on. Bitcoin jumping because of it, and the NASDAQ, everything is jumping a bit because, they did what they said they were going to do. So that's great. All news is good news, which that party will come to an end. Absolutely. And my thing here is I think Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert have a great thought here. The G7, why don't we create like a B2, Central African Republic and El Salvador? They can get the Bitcoin coalition together and maybe get Turkey in there. And anyone who wants to join in, have sound, sovereign money and free their people, then I think that's a great idea. So we should probably look into that. And the bonds, obviously, this is going to just keep going. I'm just very curious as to where bond prices are going to go going forward, because if no one's buying the bonds, then what's going to happen? Prices are just going to keep going up. The price will keep falling of bonds because the Fed said they're not going to buy. They're tightening, and Chinese aren't buying. The Russians aren't buying. So who's going to buy them? Well, I've seen a little bit of talk lately. It's going to be grandma and grandpa. It's going to be mom and dad. It's going to be the pensions, 401ks. They're going to be shoved into this asset that no one wants. The Fed's definitely going to have to come back in as well, too, to start buying that up because the rates can't go too much higher. And the pensions, 401ks, the Fed, they're going to come swoop in and start buying all these junk assets, really, at the end of the day. So buckle up. Let's get prepared here. And then canceling student loan debt. Again, another thing that really isn't going to do much of anything other than just try to win votes. And just some of the big topics of the day, it's just comical what's going on here. But nothing's going to happen. They're just going to buy more votes. And $10,000 that's going to be a good chunk of people. But that spending power, where's that going to go? They're just going to, there's no accountability, no responsibility. So that doesn't teach anyone anything. So no accountability, no responsibility. So we're not teaching anything there. They keep saying, well, now people can buy more homes. I don't know what homes you're going to buy because there's none available. There's very low inventory. So it's just going to drive the prices up even more, causing more inflation. So we're in a rock and a hard place. It really is fascinating. And we're really in for a debt jubilee. We're in for the transfer of the system going to central bank digital currencies. It's going to be Bitcoin and gold that win at the end of the day, especially because you're going to be out of the system. And then we've got Mr. Icon here doing who knows what. I haven't heard of him in a while. I don't know where he's been, but apparently McDonald's is fighting with him and saying that his new focus on ESG, which is absolute trash and just a way to, the global elitists, Klaus Schwab and the gang and everyone to control everybody is through ESG. So, but they say this is just his thinly veiled opportunistic attempt to gain relevancy and media exposure in the current environment with no regard for McDonald's stakeholders. And I would tend to agree. Icon's a smart dude, but he's a track record for, trying to force his hand. Don't agree with McDonald's and their business model either. So I don't agree with either of these people, but ESG, that's not a good thing. Who knows if Icon even believes in that or what he's trying to do, or he's trying to get media exposure, or who knows what he's doing. But again, every coin has three sides. Understanding there's three sides to every coin. That is the most important aspect in all of this. And, I think there's so many people out there like George Gammon, some amazing people that really do an incredible job talking about critical thinking. Jordan Peterson that are talking about just thinking in general, just thinking at all, but critical thinking nonetheless. And then here you go. Again, you're at market tops when you've got Elon Musk who can break the internet with simple tweets or memes, and things are flying around back and forth. And volatility. The volatility, I think at the end of the day, I don't know, seems kind of fungible. It's just hilarious. And the volatility is going to increase. The whipsaws are going to increase. I saw a great graph earlier about the Weimar Republic and the price in marks going up, and it's a very just nice exponential hockey stick curve. But then the percent changes during that time were just wild and got just more wild and more wild as the price went up. And that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be up 200%, then down 30%, then up 100%. It's just going to keep moving. So that's the last thing I'll leave you with today is a wonderful book that I'm finishing reading right now. It's taking me a while to get there, but Jeff Booth's book, The Price of Tomorrow, just an unbelievable read, and just where life is going tomorrow and why deflation is key and going against Ben Bernanke and all the central bankers who think that deflation is the root of all evil, and they couldn't be more wrong. Yeah, deflation will crush everything, is going to devour everything, just like Bitcoin will, and it is really the key to the future. So you're get in or get out. That's your update for today.